to study abroad for your post-secondary or postgraduate studies? Stand a chance to win a $1,000 or $500 tuition fee scholarship. Attend the Harvest Field Education Virtual Fair on Saturday, the 1st of May from 4 to 8 p.m. West Africa time. Meet reps from top institutions in Canada, the UK, Ireland, and the USA. Chat, download their materials, and upload your credentials for immediate assessment. Access is free, but registration is compulsory. Visit harvestfieldedu.vfairs.com to register now. You will receive a confirmation email with your login details to join us from the comfort of your home. Harvest Field Education Services, your best guide to studying abroad. Email harvestfieldedu@yahoo.com.
Hello, good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to today's edition of Prime Hour on My Media Prime. We this day are going to be talking about relationship and marriage, asking the question, what kills emotion and love in a relationship and a marriage. We also are going to be asking you whether you know what it takes to note that you no longer are needed in a relationship or a marriage. What are those indicators that you should already conclude that you are no longer welcome in a relationship? We are going to be discussing this with our experts who have always been there, with also our consultants in the house. Apostle Ambe, Valentine is here with us to discuss on these two key topics. We are glad to have you. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, my co-panelists. Good evening, Cameroonians and viewers of Prime Hour. It's always a privilege to be here. By the grace of God, we shall be educating you on this very sensitive topic, what kills emotions in marriage and relationships. God bless you for being our audience.
How is the family doing?
We are doing quite great. We're preparing for a program that is coming of Record Breakers this Thursday, the 29th to the 2nd of May, 2021, in our church auditorium, Bonaberry and Saint Route. You can contact me when we're about to close. I'll give you my number.
The record breaking is what? Those who are breaking records in marriage?
Yes, breaking record in every sphere of life. That is to say, you're coming to break a record that the family has never broken before. Probably nobody has ever driven a car in a family. When you drive a car, you've broken the record. There are some certain records that have been set in families that nobody has crossed that barren. And when you come with that grace of God upon your life, you break through that record. Like I'm breaking a record in my family. I'm going international. That's record breaking.
You're truly going international. We also are in the company of Apostle Alfred, Essingie. Good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Leo. It's a wonderful day again today. We are happy to be here. I greet my fellow panelists. I know we're going to do justice to this topic today.
I stumbled on your Facebook page today and discovered that your wife's birthday was celebrated 2 days ago.
Yes. My wife's birthday was on the 26th, and it was a wonderful time with the children at home. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Madam Apostle. Sorry for saying this late, but they say better late than never know. Yes. So happy birthday, Madam Apostle. Also with us is Apostle Lefor, Divine the Love Doctor, all the way from Boya, Southwest Regional Capital. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo, and thank you for having me and us again for this beautiful and wonderful program. It's always an honor to talk. We have a global audience here, and it's always an honor to talk with our fellow panelists. And we believe today again we're going to share wisdom, we're going to share insights, and it's going to be another wonderful time. It's a beautiful topic, and I believe it's going to be another wonderful session.
Okay. We were supposed to be in the company of a lady this evening. She wrote that she was not going to be there. So please, you bear with the men who are in the house. Don't say that women are marginalized. They were invited for this edition of the program. They turned down the invitation. But if you are a woman who think that you can discuss on this topic every Tuesday, please feel free to call us and tell us when you are disposed. We are going to invite you. I'll start with you, Apostle Ambe, Valentine. We are talking about relationships, marriages. What and we are looking at those things that kill emotions and love. It starts off very well with the man always talking love, singing praises, and at times after some months, years, and decades, things no longer work. What happens?
Yes, it's a very, very broad topic. A lot of factors. We are going to be approaching it from angles that you may least expect us to handle today, because a lot of factors contribute to the, how do I put it, the quenching of love and passion and affection in relationships and in marriages.
You no longer feel for each other.
It dies. Yes, somebody says, I don't longer feel anything for you again. That thing, it doesn't die. It can be suppressed, because love itself does not die.
Except it was not genuine.
Yes, it was not genuine. It doesn't die, but it can be suppressed. And it can be suppressed to the extent that it can lead to separation. And that's the reason why there's a lot of pain and a lot of torture, a lot of emotional stress after the separation than even before you were in the house. I will start by saying that the unrepentant attitudes, unrepentant attitudes are attitudes that can cause people's emotion to die in any relationship. Some people can manage some attitudes for 10, 20, 15 years, and they're unable to contain it anymore. When that thing persistently, consistently repeats itself, they're unable to contain it. They get frustrated. For instance, you can see people call somebody gradually, try to explain things to the person over and over, try to bring communication, try to bring and point out the lapses in the relationship, and then somebody just ignores it and doesn't pay attention to it. You see, the things that destroy relationship are not very big things. They are very minor things, but those are things that the attention of the person has been called once, twice, thrice. For instance, when you insult somebody consistently in a relationship, or you rebuke somebody publicly, those are very minor things. Women consider those things very serious, and when they call your attention to it once or twice or 3 times or 4 times, you realize that the affection begins to die gradually. And those are the things I tag as unrepentant attitudes that people cannot change in a relationship despite numerous complaints and consistent call to adapt to new system of operations. And because of these things, a lot of people go through a lot of emotional torture and a lot of difficulties, so they cannot contain it, and because of that, it affects the passion and then the affection.
Are you saying that before getting into the relationship, or while in the relationship, people need to adapt, change their behavioral patterns to suit their new acquired status? That is, before you were single, now you are married. And
of course, there is an attitude of a married person, and there's an attitude of a single person. That's why there are scriptures that doesn't touch people who are not married. There are scriptures in the Bible that has nothing to do with a spinster or a bachelor. It has to do with somebody who is married. The scriptures say, when a man is not yet married, his affection is for God. But when the person is married, his affection is moved towards his family. That tells you that your affection has direction, and once it is not given the right direction, it can affect the persons who need it and they are not giving it. So those are the things we are talking about. Unrepentant attitude that somebody calls over and over, trying to bring you to a point to understand that I do not admire this, because some people even go to the extent of sitting down and write their likes and dislikes before they get married. You will tell, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, and then they sit down. Well, you get married now. It could be a mistake, it could be an error, but once they call your attention to you, you're unrepentant and unwilling to change. Those things are the things that mount over years, because affection does not just die immediately. It takes a gradual process. After the thing has been inculcated into your spirit, you cannot contain it anymore, and then you are left with no children to
it means the person wants to reap benefits and will not want to take responsibilities for the newly acquired status.
Of course.
You want to benefit as a married man.
Yes.
Okay, good evening to you, Wamben Kingsley, and to you, Jack Shilgo. Good evening to you, Alfred. Good evening, Mr. Leo from Seseko Oscar. Suilaru Pros, good evening to you. And to all of you, good evening. And Apostle, we are talking about things that kill emotions and love. And I took time off to read through some researches, and some persons are propounding that the consistent denial of sex by a partner could lead to the other developing less interest and love for the other.
Yes, actually, Sex is the backbone of emotions in marriage. Sex is the backbone of emotions in marriage. As a matter of fact, when you get married legally and you have not yet consummated married, it means you have not yet had sex with your wife or husband, your marriage is considered annulled, null and void after some time. Because you cannot get married and then after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 1 month, you can't have sex. It means there's a problem somewhere. So it has become a big problem. Especially some people who are sex maniacs, and some women especially who are not, they don't like sex at all. So when it gets to that point, like I know of a situation right now that's in court that's about to go for divorce, where this particular man wants sex every morning, every evening, but the woman doesn't want it that way, and so the man thinks that it's not going. It's not moving, because while the man is trying to make advances, the woman is trying to pull back, and that's you know it's a killer for him, especially when he wants to concentrate. Because some men enter because they see some shapes, they see some designs that they like, and they know that when I meet this one, I'm going to have a lot of sex. Especially those ones that they like the big hips. They like the big hips, they like the figure 8, they like all those shapes. So when you're coming with that anxiety and that desire to pounce on her and discover that she is not that type, you get angry. It kills that particular business. Instead of that friendly, loving emotions, it turns to anger and bitterness and wrath, and therefore you begin to see some people killing a woman, or begin to suspect a woman that maybe because she's sleeping outside, that's why she is not giving in. Just like that. And some attitudes on bed can really turn people on or off, can really turn them off, especially when it comes to the way you talk to someone when you're having sex with. You talk some kind of funny languages, trying to remind them of their past, trying to remind them of some funny things that have happened before, and then you want to have sex. You've already turned that person off. The kind of things you say, and maybe some kind of attitudes, your attitudes and some behaviors when you are on bed, turn off a man as serious as any other thing. It also turns off a woman, because especially women, they are good in turning off. Men don't really have problems when they are time in turning off, because they have made up their mind for something. They will get it, whether you like, you do what. After they get it, before now they begin to turn on you and begin to tell you what you have. But the women turn off very easily. They can easily just tell you that, okay, I have changed my mind, I'm not in the mood. They begin to tell you something like, I'm not in the mood, and they shift and go to the other side, and you see the men start doing some kind of forceful things, and sometimes go even to tearing of her pants and tearing of maybe breastwear, and violence and so many other things. And because on those kind of things, that's why you see some issues are coming up in marriages where people are saying that my husband raped me. So I'm going to ask yourself, how could you go to the extent where your husband has to only rape you? It should be something that you joyfully give your husband for sex. So when you come to say that your husband raped you, it means that you yourself, you don't have that anxiety, you don't have that desire, you don't have that passion for it. So he the man that has the passion or the desire, he goes forward to do what? To rape you or to force himself on you. And many a times, it creates a lot of wound, it creates a lot of injuries, and sometimes, it renders them, it gives some of them disabilities where they cannot walk because of the forceful sex drive that this man has come up with. So I think, and I know that sex is one of those dangerous areas in marriage that if it is not well handled, it can cause a lot of problems in the family, because the women are always turning off. I don't know why women choose to always allow these things. I always tell people, I said, it is good that you allow the sex to go through. After you've gone through, then you begin to express your grievances. Either you express your grievances before, or you express your grievances after. But when you come, it is during the time where sex is about to take place, then you begin to talk about the things that they have done to you, what they have not done to you, what they will do to you, what they were planning to do to you, and all those kind of things. You have not given me money, you have not given me, bought my week, you have not the money. I said I want to go and see my people, you refuse that I should not go and see my people, and all those things. And at the end of the day, the man is tired. All what he would do is he would just fall down and maybe satisfy himself and sleep off.
Okay. Some women have the tendency of asking for practically impossible from men. Or at times I laughed each time I hear women or ladies talking about God-fearing men. With all the men you see now God they fear them. Greetings to you. Greetings to you, Mr. Leo and the panelists. This is Noel writing from Bankulu. in Yaoundé. Okay, now got the fear men them now. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo and the panelists. Very interesting topic. They're eagerly waiting to learn this evening. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, I wish to ask which kind of marriage or what context of marriage are we talking about tonight before we proceed. Derek, I don't know what type of marriage we are talking about. Are there 2 marriages? Good evening, Mr. Leo, and good evening to all the panelists. Disrespect is too much. Complaints from women kills men's emotion. Likewise, infidelity in men also makes love not to go well. Innocent writing from Bomenda. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm Fonge. I love your program. Thank you. But the love doctor, I want you to react to Derek. Derek says, no, not Derek. Okay, some people say too much complaint. This is Innocent from women that says too much complaints from women kills men's emotion. Infidelity in men also makes love not go well.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Mr. Leo. Let's start with, there are 2 points raised here. I remember one time when we were talking about some changes that happen in a relationship and some of the pressures. I made mention that sometimes a woman might be like, this man has changed. This man has changed. Sometimes responsibility can kill sexual drive. I'm putting everything into perspective here, like how our the man of God was saying that this sex thing, sex is pivotal to emotional play in a marriage. That's what we're talking about here. And I was saying that there are some times that an idle woman, permit me say, might not understand how a busy man might not be in for sex after a busy day. The same way an idle man might not understand how a busy woman may not be in for sex at the end of a busy day. And coming to the complaints part, the truth there is, when a man is disrespected, it's the greatest turn off on earth. The truth there is, men are excited, men are turned on. I say this at a personal level. Disrespect is the greatest turn off for me. That means I sense it from a distance, and that's just it. It's men are turned on when they are respected, when they are honored. Sometimes too many complaints, too many like like the man of God was saying, sometimes a woman will wait. You take off her dress, her nightie, she will wait. She knows she's not planning to give you sex. She will wait. You will even take off her bra. Then when you want to touch her pants, hey, don't touch her. I asked you 30,000 last week. You will give me. Now, that is because in the truth is deep within in our society, sex is a bargain. Sex and money or responsibility is a general bargain, and
but in Innocent is talking about too much complaint. That is a lady that complains from morning to night. You complain about almost everything. Yes, some ladies, there's always something they want to talk about. Like, they are complaining about what you have not given. They are complaining about what they are expecting. In fact, there are people that, even to make a point, because sometimes some people want to express themselves. Some people, just to express themselves, they are complaining. The truth there is, like we have said, if sex is pivotal to emotions, I tell you the truth, complaints is a turn off for a man. It goes both ways. I think also when a woman is, you know, a house can be hostile. Even the Bible says that a woman who complains, that it's better to go to the mountain top, to the rooftop, and stay away from such a person. That means a woman's complaint can get you out of if a woman's complaint can make you go off, then it will definitely affect the emotions of the room. Like the truth there is, sometimes people want sex, but the atmosphere that has already been created, maybe due to the argument in the afternoon, you don't even know where to start. You don't even know how to go about it. So it is definitely a killer if it affects sex, and we know that it's affecting the emotions. Then to talk about the second, I think there were 2 parts. He was talking also about the infidelity. Yes, it goes to what Apostle Valentine is saying. The truth there is, 1 mistake, 2 mistakes might be handled, but when something is repeatedly done,
and the person calls you to attention and all of that, in fact, not just the infidelity, anything that is done over and over, like the man of God said, that unrepentant attitude can be a turn off, especially for women. Like he said something, I was just smiling. They can change their mind at any point in time. They're just like, I'm not in the mood. Yes, I think these two things are something that should really be looked into, and it is definitely pivotal in emotional balance or in emotional play in a relationship.
Okay. One other aspect is being condescending in a relationship. That is, you do not value or respect the other partner, both ways.
Yes. We just spoke about disrespect. It's both ways. It's not just the man that deserves respect. A woman deserves also respect. You have to respect a woman. But you see, the challenge we have in our society today is that the subject of respect has not been properly placed. In every society there is a superior, and that superior must be given the respect he deserves. That is to say, you don't submit at your convenience, you submit as you are commanded. God does not deal with us as colleagues because he's superior, and since being superior, we don't serve him at our convenience. We serve him as we are commanded, and that is a standard from every strata of life. If things don't operate in that capacity, there will never be order and decorum in any society. There's always rank, there's always authority. And when you are serving an authority, sometimes the scripture says that do not serve only masters that are very gentle and nice to you. You should serve people who are also forward and harsh. Because while some people are sent to your life to build out the character that is in you, there are people with very crooked characters. Sometimes marriage is like a sharp and a machete. These two rub themselves together to get better in life. Now, when a sharp is sharpening a machete, you discover there is noise, and it loses iron. That portion of life, God says, if you are a tree that produces good fruit, I will trim you, chop off some parts of the tree, and then let it produce more fruit. If at all we don't understand the sort of respect, a lot of people want to equate respect for men and women to be the same. A man must not always be right for you to respect him. The same way God must not always be right for us to respect him. We are respecting God because God is an authority. We are respecting God because God is an authority, and God respects us in return as his children because he loves us, not because if he does not do what we ask him to do, we will do something. We can do God nothing. So the man loves or respects the woman out of love. The woman respects the man as an authority. And if respect has to be traded at one level, the man that has authority should be given the respect. Now, when we talk about these mishaps in marriage, people fail to understand that a lot of things that kill emotion is adaptability. A woman you got married to 10 years ago will never look the same after 10 years, whether you like it or not. And you must understand the eye with which you took to see her when you got close to her is the same eye you are having when she has changed. You saw a slim, beautiful girl. You admire it with those eyes. The eye did not change. You didn't change goggles. Then the girl came and gave birth to 2 children. Then the stomach protruded. Then now you start seeing stretch marks on the body. Is that same eye that saw a mannequin is now seeing Mami Bolo Bolo? When you discover that these changes take place, I'll call them body changes. When they take place, if you are not able to adapt to the new state of that woman, you will start looking that same thing you saw before you ever got married to your wife. And most people cannot adapt to the new state of their wives, find it very difficult to still maintain the same emotion that drove them close to the woman when the woman was still very young and very beautiful. Another aspect is dirtiness that kills emotions. A nasty woman will automatically look very ugly in your eyes. Not nasty just in the body. When the environment is not clean, it makes even your sexual drive to die. You come, the bedsheet is looking one corner, the room is just haphazard. Nowhere is kempt. Everywhere is just unkempt. Those things kill emotions. Whether you like it or not, human beings, especially men, are carried by their psychology. It is their thoughts that drive them. So when they come, as they begin to look, once the thing they are looking does not appeal to their mentality, it begins to affect even the adrenaline. It affects every tendons in their body, and once the psychology is affected, it begins to affect the body. Those things play a lot of post emotions. So if we don't put a balance on the issue of when people are supposed to respect and the place of cleanliness in marriage, it is going to cause a lot of damage.
Yeah, but should anybody be condescending to either of the parties because of status or yes, because of social or economic status?
Yes, yes, because the scripture says honoring one. There's a portion of the Bible we have not preached. In 1 Peter 3:7, we say honoring one another. Honor is not just for the man. You have to honor the woman. And when we talk about honor, honor is different from respect. No, honor has to do with substance. It has to do with what you offer. It has to do with how you describe the person. It has to do with what you buy for the person. It has to do with how you address the person. That's honor. It's far beyond just respecting somebody. And when it comes to honor, God says, let man and woman honor each other. It's so funny that some men will buy dresses for women, buy every makeup from January to December. The woman does not even buy a pant for the man, even a tie for the man, even a shirt for the man, because to them the mentality is that the responsibility of the house belongs to the man. They have to honor each other. Let there be an exchange of grief. There is no, when romance dies in a relationship, emotions also die. There are some women who are very, very unromantic. I didn't say beautiful. You can be very beautiful and very unromantic.
Same for some men now.
The same goes. My arguments are always on both sides.
Apostle. Yes. What? Oh, you have something to add to what he said already?
I always like when Apostle Ambe is trying to play emphasis on the man's respect. Okay. You know.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
He's very vehement on that particular aspect of the woman's respect. But I think when it comes to emotions, the man has a lot to do, which is above respect.
Okay.
Emotions has so little to do with respect, because you see people behaving foolishly. You see a big man will be running around with a small girl. They are loving some kind of, that has nothing to do with respect. It has to do something with, they used to say, we placate the girl, with chatty. This thing, women are like, it's like goats. When the goat wants to beat the woman goat, the man goat, they play around, they smell, they go around and create a conducive atmosphere. Women always want that kind of atmosphere, but unfortunately we have some of these men that are so bent on respect, and that is what kills the woman's appetite for sex. Every time he's coming, he's talking about respect, and they, you know, when he wants to just come, he removes his dress and say, lost that light, or he say, climb for bed. No time for romance, no time for some kind of play, no time for some kind of discussion during sex, because talking during sex is a very powerful tool for romantic manifestations. But unfortunately, this man who always wants respect, you know, he thinks that if he talks, the girl will take the wife will take him so low and will not take him serious. And that's exactly what is killing our homes today, because some of our men are really full of this respecting. You must respect me, and that's what he's dealing now. Many men force themselves on a woman because they think it's their right. They force themselves, and it turns off the woman because you're forcing yourself on me. No woman wants to be forced for sex. Every woman wants to, you know, they want you to placate them. Sometimes they will really like, you know, be behaving as if they don't like it, and then they want you to tell them something that will make them to like it. You know, that kind of play, that kind of chat, that kind of, you know, discussion, you know, it creates it. So I want these brothers and sisters, these men that always put respect when it comes to the place of emotions. I want to say that emotions has little to do with respect. You know, emotions has little to do with respect. It has to do sometimes with some foolish things that people will be doing. People will run under the rain. People will run and jump into the sea. They will dress naked. They will be running. You see a man will be running naked and will some kind of laugh like one shumbu. You know, they'll be laughing like that. You need to, sometimes you need to stay in a house where it's a carabot house and you hear what is happening in the other side. Some kind of noise that they make, some kind of laughter. Sometimes you say, leave me. You say, no, I marry you, my money. I marry you. You don't ever deny me. You don't ever deny me. I'm right as a man. and it causes a lot of this, turn off. The women are usually turn off when it comes to this respect issue. Mr. Leo, that's what I was like trying to look at it, because respect in marriage is paramount. You must respect your husband, you must respect your wife. But this aspect of romance and feelings and emotions, it goes with mechanisms. It goes with the art and the science of playing with the mind of someone, so that they can be able to give up their emotions.
So we keep the respect thing aside.
Let's just try to leave it for some other day. Let's leave respect for some other day or for some other things. But when it comes to emotional aspect, there's no respect. The man must come down from his high horse.
So what you are saying, in essence, is that overplaying on the respect factor kills emotions.
Kills emotions to a very high extent. Go and ask the women; they will tell you. Some of them are just doing this sex thing just for doing sake.
But what about women themselves who insist on this issue of respect?
No, women. There are a lot of women who support men for their ego. No, it's not as if they really support them, but they know that if I don't support the men, I will find.
No, there are women who are also demanding as much respect as the men are demanding.
Okay.
Have you not seen that?
Okay, that they should respect me.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. It's vice versa. It's vice versa.
No, but you are insisting on.
No, I'm saying that it's mostly the men.
The women advocate. Yes.
No, they mostly the men. Mostly the men. Mostly the men play this role. But there are some girls too that are really funny. Some of these ladies are very funny. You carry yourself and make it. You're too high when it comes to that. Hey, don't touch me here. Touch me there. Don't touch me here. You're trying to give people dictates.
Do you know
what kind of thing is that? And then you say, hey, make her finish very fast, and some kind of things. And that one is really a turn off.
You know, reach my level.
Some things. And you will see a boy will just come and struggle and end. After end, you begin to call his number, he will never pick it again.
Okay, let me take a few messages. Diligence writing from a man that says, good evening, Mr. Leo. I love the program, but please help me ask Apostle Ambe what of the situation where the man here always sees himself self-correct and never bringing down his ego to tell sorry. I'm writing from Bamenda. Okay, it's Jennifer writing from Jennifer. Okay, this one says, I love the way you handle issues concerning relationships and marriage. My apostle. Okay, apostle, this one is, the person has even sent the excerpt of the last edition where you explain issues. Good evening, dear panelists. Loyalty or respect to the husband does not mean lack of rights and decision for the woman. As the Anglophones initially used school boycotts to call the government attention, so too some women use sex issuance as a tool to call the man to order or for bargain. Herman is writing from Douala. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Nice topic. The truth is that there is love, there is respect. Where there is love, there is respect. If there is no love, respect will not be. Kingsley is writing from Marwa. Good evening, Leo. Good evening to the team. It's good topic, but I think the panel would have been balanced if we had a lady on the panel. Men will always speak from men's eyes view. Great job, Tim. Kudos, Tim Dickey writing from Boya. And I said it in the beginning that a woman was supposed to be part of the show. They turned down the invitation. So, good evening, Mr. Liu and the panelists. I'm enjoying the program. Keep it up. God bless you people for the good ideas and facts that is happening in our houses these days. I'm Elvis writing from Limbe. Tiku Felix writing from Boya says, greetings, Mr. Leo. The #1 killer of love and emotions in marriage is lack of trust. Lack of trust is a trigger to infidelity. It is an emotion killer. Lack of trust is a hate builder. Vows taken in marriage may be what is actually keeping two people together whose emotions are there towards each other. Another killer is the expectations of a partner not being met. It usually needs the way you thought your spouse is based in the promises you got before marriage. Once they are not met, it kills a lot, and that affects emotions. This is one aspect that brings competition with others in. When the expectations are not met, it gives room for a search outside. I believe any other thing is a result of these two. Tiku Felix is raising an issue that is also very capital: lack of trust. Either the lady told the man before marriage that my father is the ambassador in Kuwait, and maybe I work in one bank, and that is the vision you had before getting into the relationship with the man. Men are fond of that. We lie a lot, and when the woman comes in and discovers that you have lied, there's no longer trust, and there's a tendency to look for the person that you dreamt of.
Yes, Mr. Leo, the truth is, whether we like it or not, even emotions is triggered by knowledge, because each individual has the kind of things that fancy or that triggers their emotions. Generally, we know that men are moved by what they see, and women are moved by what they hear and touch, but women are more especially moved by what they hear. That's why sometimes you can buy a woman a big house and a big car, and she will tell you, I want you to tell me that you love me. You see, they are moved by what they hear, but a man will want you to show it. And that's why there's something we must really say here. Women should know that a man can value the tiniest gift given to him, because men relate to action, to action more than just words, and women relate to words. And to what you are saying here, the truth is, this trust, many a times a woman has a kind of thing that they are admiring. It might come to a shock, but a woman might like you because you said your father was a minister. I'm just giving an example. That's the truth. Let's be honest here. It has triggered before we start asking whether that should be the right emotion or not. But the truth is that information was what triggered the emotion. Yes. And after that, it starts looking like this is not the kind of, that's not what I thought. That is why we must also now learn to tell. That's what you hear we say that marriage should be founded on something beyond emotions, because this kind of things, if we're only talking about just about emotion, you will say this kind of things will affect everybody. Just like how we have said that you use your eyes and you look at a very slim lady. I always tell my people, I say every slim lady has some kind of fat gene that can be triggered at any time, which can happen maybe after first or second child. So if this trust, but I don't think this trust also is just about information that was given that was a lie at the beginning. It can also be the lack of I'm talking about confidence wise, like the trust in the way the person is going about the relationship. It can be a true killer, because women love to, how can I put it, a woman takes pride in submitting. The truth is, women express their love in submission, and they need to be sure that how can I put it, they're not fools. A woman is always worked up when it feels like she is a fool. So if that information, as you said, like a man lied, and she begins to feel that there is something fishy, it can kill the emotion. And if it kills the emotions, we know that things begin to go downhill in the relationship. So these are some things that we must understand, that when a woman comes into a relationship, there is something she's looking at. Now, if it turns out to be that is not what she thought, the moment a woman begins to feel like she's stupid being in that relationship, her feelings begins to, because sometimes these feelings, like the man of God said, are suppressed, and many things can suppress it. Thoughts of, maybe I'm stupid in this relationship, what am I doing here, is that the right person? Many things can suppress. You know, I was actually very, one passage got me really worked up in the Bible, when it is written that the love of many will wax cold. I actually had to go and research, because sometimes when the Bible uses the word love, it can be talking about agape, it can be talking about philia, which is, yes, I had to actually go and research that can agape wax cold, and I saw that it was actually agape that was used there, that the love of many will wax cold. It means love can actually wax cold. There are things, let's talk about iniquity, there are a lot of things that can cloud love and make it to actually wax cold. Love is actually referred to as coals of fire, and we know that there are some things that needs to fan the coal to stay alive.
Okay. Apostle Ambe Valentine Ngwa, one aspect that found out to be a cooler of love emotions,
yes,
is the fact that you would not want to identify with a partner in public. You have your wife. Anytime you are going to the market, you tell her, go at the car. Or if there's a if there's an occasion, your wife has to go there an hour before you arrive, and she's seated over there. You are here.
Those are women that were brought to you by your mother from the village. Let me give the characteristics of such women. Either your mother brought that kind of woman to you from the village, or out of your drive for sex you mistakenly impregnated her, they forced her on you, or you were either a herbalist that you treated her for madness and then they gave her to you as a gift. Because a woman that you deliberately admire took your time to wed and bring in your house, you will not be ashamed to walk with her.
Apostle,
Except
let me add that I've seen cases of many women who would not also want to identify themselves with the men. Yes. Then,
Yes.
that's
are you saying that the husbands were given to them by their...
Let me learn.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you reasons why women can equally be attached to men they are unable to work with publicly.
Yes.
The woman must have probably gone to school and then carried by the illiterate money, only to find out that when they go to places where her friends are gathered, the man cannot express himself. So she will prefer be eating the money at the background but not identify with the man publicly. Because when it comes to interaction, a woman's pride is when a man is able to represent her in all facets. That's the reason why when you see a woman's husband stand somewhere, the man is talking, the woman takes the pride. It's her prestige. She tells her, that's my husband. The moment you start messing up publicly, she gets afraid to identify with you, because women have the ego of boasting about their men. So if you see a situation where a woman is unable to identify with the man publicly, something stronger, probably finances, must have pushed her into that marriage. Then the man does not have the social capability to sustain her publicly. I've seen cases where a girl has married somebody who is financially viable, but the person is a stark illiterate. Then she interacts with her colleagues. Then the husband comes and then is called a straw. It's a sucking pipe. Say, please, can you give me sucking pipe? Can you give me sucking pipe? So when the lady finds herself in that kind of dilemma, she gets ashamed. And then a man stands in the public, they are giving him a chance to express himself, he's unable. A man can be a public figure and then gets married to a woman, like good Lord Jonathan got married to a woman, the woman say, there is God. Oh. The woman didn't go to school. So that's the situation. Those are the scenarios that you can have women unidentified. Another situation is when eventualities can occur in a marriage. A woman can go through an accident, and then she's deformed, or some kind of acid. Sometimes it is difficult for the man to publicly identify with that individual, or vice versa. Those are some of the things that actually may cause individuals not to identify with others in the public. Because I don't see how you would take your time, gather courage, get married to somebody you're unable to identify with a person publicly. It's the circumstances I have named that could probably be responsible for actions like in a marriage. But I want to also get a balance on the issue of respect and romance. As a matter of fact, in the actual sense, it is respect that provokes romance. You cannot separate these two. One of the things that kills a man's affection towards a woman is lack of respect. The same thing goes in the woman also. When you lost respect for a woman equally, it kills her affection towards you. So when Apostle Alfred is trying to talk as if the respect is like we are trying to magnify the men who are very rigid. Very, very romantic men deserve respect. It's not like the man is a kind of ancient British teacher who puts on short khaki with white shirt and then with boots and then he's bulldozing or intimidating everyone. No. If men who are very romantic are the ones who are practically respected. As a matter of fact, when you respect the man, you bring out every romance in him. The flowers you never will ever have had, you will see him buy that flower. The dresses you will never ever see him buy, he will buy. The places he will never take you to, he will take you. Because why? You are triggering something inside him, which is the ego of every man. When you bring out that ego, you see, when you support a man's ego, you bring out the lion and the king in him. You will cause him to spend even if he does not want to spend. I'm telling you, there's a story of Pa Adeboye. He said the father was married to many wives, but every time the mother wanted something from the father, he will start giving him names. He start calling some names in Yoruba. All the other wives will come, they will not get it, but she will get it. It is that respect that triggers the response. I can tell you that a man's emotion can completely die when you keep making him feel inferior, disrespected, or nonchalant in his own house. The things that bring out the the glory, that dignity of a man that can cause a man to go to any length. As a matter of fact,
Apostle, the truth is that I'm very glad what you're saying, because this is also, many people don't know that this is one of the reasons why these old men like to go date young girls. The truth, no, I'm just saying that
you're not bringing me back to that.
No, yes.
Because of what?
No, let me explain.
Because it's no respect.
Talking now.
Yes, no, I'm just I thank you, Apostle. I just want to beg 1 minute of your time. It's not. I am very, no, wait, please.
You will carry gas bottle on your head for a university.
No. What is something? See, the truth is that now, because this book. Anyway, continue.
Listen, we have to be very, very sincere. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. A man
there's a kind of respect.
A man can come back from work very exhausted.
You carry one power will carry gas bottle for a university girl. But you will see him dry cleaning the girl's house. You're talking about respect. That's not respect. This has to do with something that is more than respect.
A man's soul is bitter when he's disrespected.
Yes.
And everything that can come out within a bitter soul is rage, is anger, is bitterness. That's the truth. When a man comes back from work and is exhausted, and you accord him the respect he deserves, I can tell you the truth. The energy he did not come home with will suddenly.
But no, isn't it also because of the care that these university girls show her on this pass? Because
you are
they become mad for you.
No, look at something. Look at something. It goes two ways. There's what we call sugar mummies and there's what we call sugar daddies. None of this has to do with respect. One baby mommy will go to a corner boy and will hide somewhere. Come. Sometimes the boy will say, "Annie, come." He will say, "Come." That's how what is happening. You will see this big man will come and park his car somewhere far.
Sure.
And will try. Go to Modiko and see this. Go to Boya and see it. It has nothing to do. You see how the girl will talk anyhow to the man.
But the man is still there.
Apostle Lefor can tell you. You know it. Stop hiding.
Wait, okay.
The men will still be there.
No, I get his point. But
why would somebody live in Yaoundé?
No.
Why would some big man live in Yaoundé?
Let me tell you.
Why don't you also see it as a sign that he's not well taken care of at home?
No, it's not necessarily taken care of at home. There is that particular adrenaline that a man wants to be tapped.
Maybe,
and it's a young girl that knows how to tap it. And normally, these young girls used to do it with brutality. They shout at you, "Turn, naughty! You make our I'll don't go me here. You make our find some small boy. I'll go me for my boyfriend." No, mommy, no talk so. How you go talk so? Give me your account number. Ma put money for his side.
That's.
Now I really have to say
maybe you experience this, but I've seen cases where some of this.
But you know, I grew up in Boya. Now I saw these things. Yes. I even went to University of Boya. I was a student in University of Boya, so I know these things.
But some
there is the truth is that
pass are pushed.
Yes, not only like that.
I accept that. I accept that.
No, I've spoken. Okay, 1 minute, yes.
Did I stop? Okay, continue. Let him.
No, it's not you.
No, let him speak. Let him speak. No, let him speak.
Continue.
Let him speak. I was speaking. Listen. This thing we call charm, to a greater extent, doesn't exist. Once you keep on giving a man the thing he so much desires, he will never and ever depart. Do you know why men go out? They go out because they don't see what they see in their house. When the scripture says it is better to live on a rooftop than to live in a house with a quarrelsome woman. A quarrelsome woman is a disrespectful woman. And once a man is disrespected in his house, he will start looking for where they will give him that thing. Men don't eat food. Men don't eat children. Men don't, as a matter of fact, men don't eat the sex so far you are talking about. What can cause this? We are taking an immediate cause. Begin to put it aside. We are carrying minor causes. No man will have desire to sex if you don't respect him. Take it from my mouth. No man, I tell you that even the passion to make love to you will not be there if you don't respect the person. That's the truth. A man who is disrespected is a disgruntled individual, and a man who has an emotion that has been crushed cannot have sexual drive. Whether we talk this thing as if we are falling from space or what, I wonder. Because Continue. Because it's like you don't put.
No, it's like you always have enough time. Like you always have enough time.
Nigami writing says, in a relationship, trust is the key, and truth will cement everything. During sex, romance is the thing that makes sex enjoyable. Without it, a partner is raping the other. That's my point. Respect is mutual, but the woman first for respect, and during that period, men will only obey for him to have his way. I'm really enjoying the program, and my wife is just quiet. Thanks for the program. Some respect is restored in my home since we have been watching this channel. Thank you. We're glad to hear this. Please, if you have testimonies here,
thank you.
Like if we are imparting, just share the testimonies with us. And those of you watching who want to share, if you can do a short video to share in our discussion, do the short video and send to us. We'll play for everybody to watch you and listen to you. Good evening, it's an interesting program. Please, I'm dying and need your help. I have been with a girl for over 7 years, and we keep someone should take note. And we keep 7 years, and we keep managing our difference and pushing ahead. We admit mistakes and see the need to resolve. We had a misunderstanding and haven't talked to each other for over a month. I tried texting and calling, begging her, to no avail. I invite friends to beg her on my behalf, to no avail. She hates corrections, and I accept her and do my best to always help her in advising and guiding. My parents are already aware, and my parents are planning to meet her parents this coming December, but as it stands, she declared to me today that the feelings is dying down gradually and the love is no longer existing. Please, I am broke and disappointed. Help me out. Please, Junior is writing from Yaoundé. Apostle Alfred is going to talk to you. This one says, I think before entering into marriage, there should be a serious orientation about love, sex, and marriage. Too many people are confused about these things, and sometimes because of excitement, both parties forget the purpose of why they are going into it. Most of the problems we find in marriages is lack of preparation. Reverend Mrs. Irene Kingsley, writing from Kumba. Good evening to you, Reverend. Now, good evening. Hello, sir. This is Mr. Smart. Be great from Douala. I love your program. Keep on. Please ask the man with the black cap to talk slowly. Okay. Okay. Please, I need his number. Okay. I'll send you his number just after the program. Mr. Leo, we Mburoros, you cannot move with your wife. It's a respect and tradition. Yes, okay, that is an aspect we also did not consider. Why is it that in a relationship a man don't show his love to a girl but always feels jealous when he sees her with another man? Sandrine is writing from Douala. Secondly, you had sex with your guy and he says you should drink something because he's not ready to be a father. My question is, this guy really in love with you? Or he's just playing with your emotions? Okay, maybe he was not ready for that. Good evening. This one says, I'm called Zita and I'm writing from Boya. The most killer of love is lack of trust. Okay. Good evening to the panel. This is my best program on my media prime. What kills love and emotions is lack of romance, betting from men. This is Clementine from Pomenda. Good evening. This is Clementine says hard labor affects sex negatively, while less physical labor affects sex positively. Okay, I hope you've also considered romance from the women. Yes.
Yes. I want to say that is exactly what we have been talking here. I have not turned down the fact that Apostle Ambe talks of respect for man.
Somebody wrote from Yaoundé.
Yes, I'm going back there. Okay. That's what I want to address.
Okay.
Now, when we are talking about a particular topic, we talk on context. What we are talking about, and there is a concept about that particular context. There's a concept, and that particular concept right now is emotions has so little to do with physical respect. Little, because we have seen excess emotions. I'm talking about emotions. I'm not talking about reason. There's something called reason, and there's something called emotion. Those people who are obsessed they have not had a wonderful respect in relationship. People who are obsessed usually have excess sex and orgasm. When they can have that trigger in sex and orgasm, they don't care what they get out of it. That is why some men will still beat a woman, and on top of the beating the woman still die for him. So her love does not die down, her emotions doesn't die down, because he knows that this man, after beating me, he knows what to do. He can play with me and handle it. Okay, I heard one young girl saying that I don't like me papa them, because any boy that is trying to, you are in a relationship with me and you're trying to make as if you want to teach me everything, as if I don't know anything. And that's what girls don't usually like. Girls don't like to be mentored. You came to a love relationship and not for a mentorship relationship. That is exactly what happened. Ask the girls, ask the women, if they are out there, they are listening to me, they can respond to what I'm saying now. They don't like to be mentored, they don't like to be fathered. When you come and you're only behaving father, mentor, they feel so bad. You are saying that you were trying to coach her, you were trying to direct her, you were trying to... No! This thing is not about coaching, it's not about directing, it's not about anything.
You're talking to the guy who wrote from your junior.
Yeah, exactly. He is saying that that's what he was doing. He was trying to do that.
Yeah, but what is wrong?
But this girl has something she's looking for that is not seen in you. Because you have just been managing, because you said you've been managing and solving problems and going on and it. I was engaged for one particular lady, and she cut off that relationship for 6 times. 6 good times she would come and tell me that I don't want to continue this relationship because from what I'm looking at, you don't have money. Tomorrow, I don't know how it's going to look like. And she cut off. And then finally, when she did it the last time, I told myself, I went and told one of my leaders, he said, let that girl go. That girl is not for you. And I left it.
Is that what you're telling Junior?
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to tell him that. I'm trying to tell you that when you keep on cutting and coming, there will be a day that it will cut and will never come back.
Junior says they are going. The parents want to visit the girl's family in December.
It's not about visiting family. For me, I prefer that something cut. A broken engagement is better than a broken marriage.
Okay.
Why hurry to go and see people's family when you people are not in accord? And if they are not in accord, you must play the boy, play the young boy. Look for her. Change your approach. Maybe your approach you were using was not friendly to her. Another young boy must have tapped this girl somewhere in a corner, and then the girl is seeing something that this boy could not handle at the beginning, and I begin to turn somehow. Because girls, I am telling you the truth, most of these girls don't like to be mentored or fathered. So when you are coming there, they say that it's my guy. That's why you will see a young girl will call one father, you say that's my guy, that's my boyfriend. And that kind of a thing. Because of what? They see you like just a boy. They see you like a friend. And you are coming in to do respect things there and some kind of things. That's where it breaks down emotions. It breaks down this kind of a thing. And that's why so many homes are broken, or so many homes cannot move forward, because the woman is dying inside because of what? These men always feel that the respect is what must trigger emotions. And it's okay, you want sex now? She lies on the bed like a stick. And after you finish what you're doing, you sleep. She gets up and then she does her things. She does not see you like a relevant person in life because of what? All you want is, you want your ego, you want your pride, you want your this.
Now, Apostle Lefor Divine, one aspect that is also considered as a factor that kills emotions and love, that has to do with always keeping grudges. You would never say I'm sorry. You are always right, and you can keep a grudge for 1-2 years just because you are too big to apologize.
Yes, Mr. I would ever want to look at it all around. Sometimes people apologize, even accept apologies, but they still keep grudges. In fact, you see, this grudges thing, I always say that there is something that grudge does. It changes you over time. That's why Jesus said that blessed is he who is not offended in me. I call it offense because it graduates. It gets to that point where you are just offended in your partner. Now I always tell many people when I counsel them and in the relationship, and I said, while we don't just talk to people anyhow, it is very important not to, because it starts with resentment.
you start resenting your partner, and it grows over time. There are people that it's not just about the fact that they cannot apologize, but there are people that you apologize to them, they still keep a grudge. Some will say it's okay, but it's not okay. Yes, there are some people who will prefer to keep you in their heart than to say I'm sorry. I want us to look at it from both angles, whether it's a man or whether it's a woman. But the truth is, emotions like that, in fact, even in the scripture it is saying that it is with joy that you draw out of the wells of salvation. With joy. The joy is strength. So the joy of the Lord is our strength. The truth there is, the easiest thing that drains our joy is grudge, offense, resentment, anger. I don't want to get even to the level of anger, because anger is very easy. When I'm angry, it's easy for you to notice. But you see, resentment, somebody can be angry at you. Your partner, you're sitting there, you're doing something, someone's looking at you like this. Their face is they have a poker face, but they're looking at you like this man. You see, this thing truly kills, and the worst thing is that it kills over time. That means you are nursing it. It's like a seed. Paul says, be careful that a root of bitterness does not spring forth in you. It does not spring forth. It grows. It will rob you of a lot of things, because when you are already offended and resent, anything somebody does, you see with a different lens.
Yes.
The truth is, when you're offended in somebody, even if somebody has a good intention, anything they do, you see with a different lens. Something you could have taken for another person. Let me give you an illustration, Mr. Leo. If you and I quarrel here, and then I always say this, like in church, let's say we and I quarrel in the same group or church or somewhere we stand, and then I was rushing in to come and do something in the hall, and I pass and I smash your leg, and I run and pass. You will hear a story like, say he see me as I stand for door. He really see me as I stand for door. He come out to run to come mash my food. Then he may say that he come out go then look me then pass. Now all of this is not necessarily what happened. It's the offense speaking. But now if you and I were very good friends, right? We spoke yesterday, let's say we had a drink, we talked. Then as I was running and passing and I smashed it, you say, bro, now wait, no. You want to kill me? You want to broke my food? Now wait, you see, you will approach it differently. The same incident, but you approach it differently. Why? Because you don't have offense. That's even the reason why when somebody even starts not hearing what their pastor is saying, or their priest, or their spiritual leader, offense is always in the root of it. And the same thing in a relationship. So offense can make you, I say, please keep this here. Why? Because offense makes you not to think that the person has your good at heart.
I'll be a house girl.
Yes, it just makes you feel that the person doesn't have your good at heart. So it is a dangerous thing. And then the bad thing is that it grows with time. See, that root of bitterness should not spring forth. It grows with time. It is a dangerous emotion killer. And as we have seen here, when it begins to increase, it will begin to affect the other romantic aspects of life, because it brings disrespect. And I want to really say this again, please. I'll just beg for 1 minute. Let me say this. The truth is, I know many women love romance, but the truth is, the romance of a man is not his head, is not his heart, is not his hands, is not his penis, is his respect. The truth is, look, I am saying this, and I am saying it with a very
many ladies are watching.
Yes,
many of you are watching. I want us to look at this issue of romance, caring, cuddling, and all the like. I want us to contextualize. So our sisters should know that what they see on TV, Brazilian TV, where you go and hire one hotel and they're acting film, we should also contextualize where we live. That you are living in one studio with 5 children and all of this. I don't know whether we really.
That's what they say.
Seemingly, we find ourselves in problem because we want to act what people are acting.
Yes, Mr. No, please, let me just say this. I thank God that is my time. Let me just say this before I know. See, it goes in line with something I wanted to say. One of the killers of emotions is familiarity. Or who say over familiarity. I don't want to, because people will be like, familiarity is a good thing. But I have never seen familiarity as a good thing. Yes. I have never seen familiarity as a good thing. Romance is not familiarity. Look, the truth there is this. There is a familiarity. Sometimes when you see some men insist on high horse, it's because they know how easy it is for that woman to take that moment for granted. So you see, when you start, I can never allow a woman who would demand for something during sex to that mean, you know what it means? That means that is her. It is a strong point. Are you understand what I'm trying to say? So sometimes these are the drop. I want us to put it as you talk. Let's put it in context. This thing, familiarity is a dangerous thing. It is a killer of emotions, because a man, there are people that the moment you play with it, you have even had even sons. You're an organization, you are a manager. There are people you have just played with for 30 minutes, and the next day they slap you like Leo, and they can do that in public, in a place. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So sometimes when we are saying this, we are not saying that yes, true, during emotions, a lot of things the man has to feel free. But if you want a man to feel free, he needs to be sure and certain that that moment does not
become a Delilah moment.
Yes, it does not become a moment of abuse.
Delilah moment.
Yes, yes.
Where his power is taken.
That is the thing. That is the thing.
Okay, but I want us to, Media Prime, we want to talk to our mothers, our sisters who are watching from Lum, who are watching from Banga, who are watching from Chico, who are watching from everywhere. We know what we are talking here is what happens in films. I want us to contextualize the case of all our sisters who are in Suza, Banga, Pinja. We know what they do. In the morning, they all go to farms with their husbands. They come back, they are tired. How do that work out? I'm talking about this romance, cuddling, all these things.
People are misinterpreting romance for sex. Romance is not sex.
It's the manner you serve your husband food, all of that.
Romance is the life you live that makes sex easy.
Okay.
Romance is a forerunner to sex. Romance is not sex. When we begin to attach respect to sex and call it romance, is a fallacy. Romance is a life you live with a man that makes sex accessible.
Is it buying a gift can be romantic?
Is built between a man and a woman when there is no romance. Now the effect of that that lack of romance causes a danger in the place of sex. Romance is not sex. I can sex you without being romantic. That's why men make love, not out of romance.
Let us look at the case of our brothers and sisters I just raised now.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. No, the romance is not going to play in a love garden. I'm coming, Mr. Leo. Okay. Let me learn. Okay. Because this romance is like taking her to a snack and then she's drinking, you put a straw in her mouth. No, those are gesticulations. Those are just, I'll put them fantasies.
Expression.
Yes, expression.
Based on
romance is
based on what the director wants you to do.
No, based on the individuals.
In the days,
most of what we know is,
are you telling me that in the days where there were no snacks, there were no love gardens, our people who grew in the village under the moonlight, when they used through Kang, there was no romance? There was romance. So what is romance? What are we calling romance? Because we have been using the word here, romance. Romance has three different factors. You have oral romance, the words you use. I can describe a woman and make her feel more important. The words you use are romantic. That's why I have romantic poems. A poem is an expression. So what about romance is the words you use. And in our village, in the world, we did not have snacks, we did not have love gardens. People could use, one of the best stories we have today in Africa were written by villagers. Kamara Lai was a villager. Chinua Achebe was a villager. Sipune Kenso was a villager. All these guys were villagers. Ngugi wa Thiong'o, Gugu wa Miri were all villagers. These guys who wrote these romantic poems, they were villagers. There was no snack, there was no
swimming pool,
nothing like that. Why? Because it has to do with communication. You have to, they can describe a woman's beauty in a novel. You can, from your visual effect, you can pick the woman's beauty by the expression of the poem, the poet or the novelist. We are talking about using the right words. There is a way you communicate with a woman. A woman can pass like this with the wrapper on her waist. You say, oh, your waist is dancing like the strings of a guitar. That's romance. You can tell a woman your hips are like the hills of Hebron. Your breasts are like the mountains of Judea. That's romance.
Songs of Solomon. Songs of Solomon. Romantic.
That's romance. Your lips are as bright as the scorching heat in the Kalahari Desert. That's romance. Romance is not carrying a gun, I'm going to sit in a snack and then they are playing one cool music. There was no music. We played gongs in the village in those days. There was romance. So let's define what is this romance.
You should contextualize it.
Contextualize it. So it has to do with words. There is a way you can describe a woman, her walking style will change. A woman can even dance a normal dance. You tell her a tale about that dance. That's romance. So it has to do with words. You can be going to the bush with your farm, and then your wife, you see a red mango, you say, oh, when I look at it, I think of you, you were at 17 when I got married to you. Your breasts were like that mango we are seeing up there. That's bush romance.
The apostle.
People are pushing me now to be saying to that you make me look like a bad boy. See, this romance we are talking.
Yeah,
now,
a good boy.
Now,
The apostle.
in the villages in those days, we didn't have flowers. There were many things that were very significant. That was romance. Girls were putting up a loins. You can buy a very flowery loin and bring to a woman. It has to do with what you offer. What you offer with your mouth, oral romance. What you give with your heart, substantial romance. That's the second kind of romance. It has nothing to do with a Top Palace Hotel. What are those names? That's not the romance you're talking about. The things that are valuable. A man can go to the farm and kill a grass cutter, bring it back home and say, I fought that battle in the forest just to bring this for you. The words you use attached to the gift you offer. That's romance. And that's the reason why you see the best romantic stories were written by people who were never exposed than us today. Like us today. The third area of romance has to do with touch. There are specific areas in a woman's body when you touch.
Okay, we are going to, we will continue after. Let me take what our televiewers was thinking about the topic. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, Mr. Liu and all the panelists in the studio. This topic today is very educative program. Please keep it up. Jesus Jerry, writing from Mutengene. Good evening to you there in the studio. I really love your program. I wish you come up with programs like this every week. Thanks so much. God bless you all, and more grace. Log Fabrice watching you live from Frontier Street in Bomenda. The program is every Tuesday. So next week we are going to have another edition. Good evening to everyone in the house. I love this program. I cheated on my fiancé with a married man over 6 months now, but I decided to stop the relationship with this married man. But I have been begged my fiancé, but it keeps saying that he has forgiven me, but he doesn't care anymore about me. Any mistake, I would say go back to my married man. Please help me. Marie Claire is writing from Yaoundé. I hope someone has taken note. Good evening to you all, and a special greetings to Apostle Ambe concerning his contributions about the issue of marriage. Sidwan is writing from Yaoundé. I pray that God should give you people more grace. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please, it's Mirabel from Bamenda. I love your program, but I have a problem whenever I'm discussing with him. If I say what you did last was not good, he gets annoyed. Okay, pray also God will touch him. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Misunderstandings, secrecy, and lies telling kills love and emotions in a relationship. I'm Hippolytus too, writing from Bunaberi in Douala. Good evening, panelists. I'm Belmont, writing from Boya. The girl we had dated for 2 years now and about to get married told me she's a sickle cell patient. Please, I'm confused. Okay.
For spiritual counseling.
Yes, so you can call
Yes,
for spiritual counseling, please.
Yes.
Junior must be very careful. Let emotion not carry him. He must calm down and check very well if that lady is his. God might just be pulling him out of a lifetime bondage. He must keep his emotions under serious check in order to properly diagnose what's going on. That lady might have interest somewhere else, and if that be the case, he must be man enough to let go the lady, bear the pains, and move on. Tamjong is writing from Bomenda. Good evening to all in the studio. I love this program, especially the way the guests are talking. Women kills our emotions, and I am an example. I was suffering with my wife, but since she was the keeper of everything due to some reasons I can't mention. She does not see me or respect me anymore. But the moment I started realizing my emotions are dying, I thought I'm sick, but which I'm not. Anything I say is a problem, whether good or bad. She's now complaining of when she killed my emotions to her. Anya is writing from Bamenda. Wow, Mr. Leo, I love your program because I've learned a lot. Thank you. By Kelda, writing from Loom. Good evening. I really wish my husband was here to follow this program. He's just so unromantic. I mean, for a young woman like me, I need attention, love, care. But for him, he thinks to work and provide food for the house. That's all he can do. Even when I want to be romantic, he will tell me that he is not in the mood, which aches me. He can't even stay for a minute on bed. I'm already tired. I'm thinking to earn it. Beverly is writing from Yaoundé. Hello, good evening to you all. The following things kills relationships at the speed of light. Disrespect, greed and ego, lack of tolerance. Most problems in relationships will boil down to the above three. Dennis is writing from Kribi. Wonderful program. I'm enjoying it and it has really changed my marriage positively. Please, with the man in black scarf's number. Good evening. Yvette is writing from Douala. Can you just write to me on WhatsApp if you need any of their numbers? Write to me on WhatsApp after the program. I'll send their numbers to you. Hello, Mr. Leo. Your topic is so nice, but the sound system is not good. Please arrange. Is Salamatu writing from Bomenda. Salamatu, I'm sure it is a problem with the person providing you with cable. He should adjust his the audio. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Why should men find it so hard to say they are sorry even when they know they are wrong? Delphine writing from Bomenda. Good evening, Mr. Kum and Co. Sometimes a woman's responsibilities at home drains them a lot, and the husband sometimes don't think that they too have to rekindle their wives. Those University of Boya girls have only sexual satisfaction to offer, and the man in turn pays cash. At the end of the day, he still feels empty. Couples should learn to communicate their needs and be supportive. Esther is writing from Bamenda. But I want us to really look at the situation of most Cameroonians. Majority of our mothers, sisters are either farmers who they are into businesses. They spend most of their times in either their shops, markets, or the farm. Most men are débrouillards. Yes, how do we blend this, given the activities most of us are engaged in?
If you realize my standpoints of so many things, I go to abstract points. Okay. You know, those points that people don't usually look into. Not because I don't just want to go to the natural, normal points that we used to teach in marriages and other things in church and just hold it. Because actually, if all of us just stand on just the points we know or how it should be, a lot of things will go. So I look into this thing. Do you know that so many business women, they have what we call manashao? They have boys that sleep with them after in the weekends or in the night. Most of them, they have manashao.
Okay, most of these business women?
Yes, most of them.
This is dangerous for the men.
Yes.
How can you say this?
Yes, they have manashao because
most of the women who are in markets,
they get satisfaction, sexual satisfaction, emotional satisfaction from abstract people. And sometimes these people who come to buy from them in the market, they talk some things and drop their numbers and exchange of numbers. And that's how they communicate. And sometimes how they get the satisfaction is through texting. They text and they talk things on phone. And sometimes, you know, you can talk to someone on phone until they ejaculate or they get orgasm through phone because of the way you talk things out. That's what is happening out there. So a lot of people are into a mess and they don't know how to come out of it. A lot of people have found themselves into this grip where they don't make time for the emotional life, for the affective life, and then the affective life comes after them and they don't know how to manage it. And the next thing that will happen is you see them going to extreme things, like you talked about you call these villages and everything, you'll be shocked to know that those people are more dangerous than people in the cities. Some of them, because at first people used to go to the villages to go and pick wives, that they are coming to town, that they'll be the best wives. But now they have discovered that no, these girls are more experienced even than people in town, because immediately they come down to town here, they get a next boyfriend. And maybe they have been chatting on phone to a boy, and they say, okay, my man did that Douala, when I come Douala, I can't see you. And that is how these things go. So I think most of these people that we consider that they are not able to meet their emotional satisfaction, they have the way they meet up. Some of them are lesbians. Some of them try to satisfy them. Some of them, they touch themselves. A lot of them, they masturbate in order to satisfy themselves, because they can't get this satisfaction from a man or from a woman, because they are too busy. So when these things come up, the highest thing they will do is that they will put a blue film or a pornographic film and begin to satisfy themselves and do one or two things or the other. Most young people who masturbate today is because of the films they watch. You know, you have in the phone, you just download some blue films and all the like, and you begin to watch them and to start masturbating and touching yourself. And then when you see them outside, they don't have time for a woman. They don't have time for a man, because they are already doing this thing with their bodies. You know, when you masturbate, you don't have appetite for a woman, or when you are masturbating, you don't have time for a man. So most women do that, and especially like this our sister just complained about the man that it does not waste time on her, just 2-minute man and that kind of a thing. Most women have a long span of sex drive, and when you begin with them, they may even begin to make you think that they are hearing something. They are not hearing. Some of them is the way they respond during sex. They don't hear anything. Now they may start hearing something around 30 minutes or 1 hour. Yes, you know.
Let us take what our televiewers are contributing. Yes. Good evening, Mr. Leo and apostles in the house. Please, what if in a relationship that you always say sorry, even if you are right or wrong, but the girl says you are always sorry, and bam, problem increased? Titus writing from Kumba, maybe you are no longer needed in that relationship. Hello, Mr. Leo. Good evening, I'm Pauline from Boya. I love your program and I'm enjoying it. Some men are very unbelievable. They never accept their wrongs, and that kills the emotions in their women. Also, some are very unromantic, which makes the relationship very boring. Good evening, sir. The problem with your channel is everywhere. Somebody complained from Bamenda yesterday, another complaint today. I am in Douala and facing same problem, so I think it's not a problem of the cable. Okay, definitely we should look into that. Good evening, Mr. Kum. Your programs are so nourishing. God bless you. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I love this program, and thanks to the Apostle Ambe for making me laugh through his romantic description of women. Is Nadia writing from Bambili. Hi, Mr. Leo. Good evening, Renee in Bingo. I enjoy your program and your guests. They are awesome. I think Apostle Lefor has very good points, but you should try to take a point one at a time through without missing many up. Okay, Joy writing from Douala says, good evening, Mr. Leo. Appreciate the program of today. Please, I would like to have the number of the man having black cap. Just write to me after the program. I'll send the numbers to you. Not now. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I love the program. I'm Boris writing from Yaoundé. Hello, good evening to all of you guys watching the program. Success from Kribi says, good evening, Mr. Leo. I must say this program has really restored my marriage because I was already losing it. Thank you, people, for I have learned a lot. Success. Thank you very much, Success. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, I had a problem. The problem is that my husband no longer talks to me in the house for almost a year. When I try to ask what the problem is, he will just shut up, call me problem woman. I'm confused on what to do. I'm sick and tired of all these things. Even sex, he no longer touches me. He sleeps with his sister on the bed while I and my son sleep on the floor. Glory is writing from Yaoundé. The disturbing situation there.
That's why I want to talk to you. You are not even understanding. I was talking about the men issue. We must deal with this men ego and pride. you know, I don't want to kick against Apostle Ambe's points. That is the normal circumstances in the society. But some of our men take things too far.
And that's why you have to say there's an exception to
Exception,
every rule.
yes.
That's how you're supposed to balance
Yes,
the
because
argument.
just listen to this kind of a man that will go to this extent of sleeping with your sister on the bed, and then you take your wife and the children. It goes to extremes now. Those are some of the things we're talking about.
To the extent that, please, can I address this guy? Madam, we are not talking because we are perfect here.
Yes.
We also have our own challenges from one angle to the other. But the truth is, there are some extent to which people go, we are left with no choice than to address such issues. You said you made advances asking him what is the problem, and he gives a deaf ear to it. You must be living in hellfire. Because I think that the best or the highest a woman can do is to go down and first of all ask why the husband is asking. That's enough honor. That's enough submission. That's enough recognition. Even though you might not be the one who is wrong, but the fact that you're the one that made advances to him, any sane man, responsible man, was supposed to have given you attention, either by telling you the things that have pissed him up in that relationship, or better still, he makes you understand why he's reacting the way he's reacting. But the fact that he's not even responding, and then he's sleeping with his sister on the same bed while you and your son are sleeping on the ground. You are not married.
Okay.
Sister, you are not married.
Okay. Lista Montana says, Lista Montana is writing from Yaoundé. Says, good evening, Mr. Leo and the great panelists. Is Lista Montana from Yaoundé. I'm enjoying the program. The flow is perfect. Good evening to you, Lisa. Sumbele Kelvin writing from Konsamba says, good evening, Mr. Liu and your panelists. Nice topic. One thing that kills love and emotion is expecting too much, giving too little. It's normal to have expectations from the relationship, but focusing too much on what you want your partner to do for you and little on what you should do for them to make them feel valued and special kills the romance in a big way. If a partner is not obedient but arrogant, it kills relationship too. Sumbele Kelvin writing there from Konsamba. Daisy writing from Kumba says, greetings Leo and to all the panelists. The topic is very sensitive. The flow of thoughts are good. What kills marriage relationship most is lack of communication and trust. Good evening to you, Daisy. We have 30 more minutes to discuss on our second topic for tonight after the short break.
Study abroad for your post-secondary or postgraduate studies? Stand a chance to win a $1,000 or $500 tuition fee scholarship. Attend the Harvest Field Education Virtual Fair on Saturday, the 1st of May from 4 to 8 p.m. West Africa time. Meet reps from top institutions in Canada, the UK, Ireland, and the USA. Chat, download their materials, and upload your credentials for immediate assessment. Access is free, but registration is compulsory. Visit harvestfieldedu.vfairs.com to register now. You will receive a confirmation email with your login details to join us from the comfort of your home. Harvest Field Education Services, your best guide to studying abroad. Email harvestfieldedu@yahoo.com.
Welcome back. You're watching Prime on My Media Prime. We are now going to be asking the question, what you think are those signs that should already tell you that you are no longer desired in a relationship or a marriage. We'll start once again with you, Apostle Ambe Valentine Ngwa if you are living with a man, or a man who is living with a woman, or you are in a relationship, what already when you see should already suggest to you that you have overstayed, you are welcome in that relationship?
When a man does no longer desire you in bed, is very fundamental.
Okay.
That he's no longer interested in you, because sex is one of the things that keeps bond in marriage. And if a man does no longer have that drive to move close to you, to desire you, to even ask for sex, and then each time you struggle to make even advances towards him, he tells you he's tired, he's not feeling comfortable. It's on both sides. If a woman start giving you numerous reasons why you should not touch her.
Somebody is touching her.
Somebody said something which is very, very dangerous. If your dog begins to bark at you, it means he has got another owner, or another owner is feeding it. So this area of sex is one thing that we know, if not 99%, at least 90%, it guarantees the fact that these two persons are still in communion. Once a person keeps you for a year and doesn't make love to you, men that I know, this creature sitting here talking to you,
year, 1 month.
no, this creature talking to you sitting here stays for 2-3 months, doesn't touch you. 4-5 months, 6 months, doesn't touch you. And then when you even make advances towards him, he begins to tell you that he's not feeling okay, he's tired. He gives you one sickness that does not exist in his system. Sister, you have been reduced from a housewife to a house sister. From a house sister, you will turn to a house girl. From a house girl, you'll be ousted like Gaddafi. That is one area I would tell you that if you see it repeatedly over and over, and the man does not even move to you to complain that he's sick, that people should look for means of treatment, because sometimes it can occur like that when the man also is not well. Sicknesses can affect people's sexual drive. Even women the same. And the person is not complaining to you, he's not worried, he's not disturbed about it. Something is not well in a particular area. The second thing that you will know that a man does no longer desire you is when he does not share his dreams anymore with you. You only find out that he has done things. He doesn't tell you. You only hear that he's building somewhere. He brings a car home. You have no idea. He wants to send a child out of the country. He doesn't tell you. You are just as good as a wall clock. He doesn't share any intimacy with you. You people don't have prior discussions to events that take place in the house. That communication link is broken. There is no more intimacy. It's a clear sign that you have overstayed your welcome.
What of the man? Because you said it shows that the man no longer wants it.
I said on both sides now. You don't know what I said here.
Okay.
No, it's like Apostle just said. It depends on how you both started in the relationship. If you were discussing everything and you were handling everything together, all of a sudden he begins to handle it alone, or she begins to handle it alone. Especially there are some women that are building houses without the knowledge of their husband.
They buy plots.
Yes, they buy plots. Some of them even send children to school, their family members to go abroad, that they are the ones that sponsor without the knowledge of the husband. It can just be maybe their working relation, that's how they operate. But in most cases, when they were doing it together and all of a sudden it's not going on again, you just understand that something is wrong. Something is really wrong somewhere. But what I look at it is that it's mostly the men that easily show those indicators.
Okay.
The men show those indicators so easily. When a man who used to touch you every second like to touch you, and all of a sudden he doesn't touch you, he's like, you even try to throw yourself again on the person, on him, and he doesn't touch you, know that something is wrong. Either he's distracted somewhere, or he thinks that you're not good enough for him anymore, and that kind of a thing. So I think that your pride can also make a man be disconnected. Your pride can also make a woman to be disconnected. in cases where someone is disconnected, you must identify easily, because we don't want you to get to the point where those signals are already very dangerous. We're trying to show you that these signals can be pointed to something. Please look at it. Please look at it.
Maybe the focus is already elsewhere.
It's already somewhere else. And sometimes it may not be that it's somewhere else, it's planning to be somewhere else. Because sometimes they try their best, especially this kind of people that they beg for forgiveness and you don't. Because look like this lady that is trying to say that she's trying to make advances to the man, and the man is refusing to try to understand. What of this woman, if this woman start going out and start dating other men? That's where you will understand that that man's ego is very high up there. Yes, that's what happens. Because if the woman turns now and start going for another man out there, you will hear the story that will turn now. You don't understand. So we're trying to call on people. Please always get these signals early. Get these signs early. Get these things early. It's mostly when someone identifies an emotional drawback. When there was emotional, they used to see you coming and they're happy. They used to see you coming and then they come to greet you. But all of a sudden they are not greeting you again. All of a sudden they don't have time for you. All of a sudden, you know, they were doing some small fringe benefits at home. But all of a sudden they don't do it again. Just know that something is wrong.
Okay, know that something is wrong. The messages are so many. Let me just get a few of them. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I love your program, especially the words from Pastor Ambe. You are really gifted. B is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening to you. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I love the program. I just want to add that the woman complaining about her husband and not making up to 30 minutes on her. I used to have the same problem in my home, but I came to realize that the woman can equally write the man. It's 50-50. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm 30 years old and I can't find a partner. I'm really suffering because I always try to be true, but at the end I'm always hurt, and now I really don't know that love is what love is. Please help. Please help. I am depressed. Dennis writing from is a man. Dennis is writing from Yaoundé. Please, Dennis, can you just call us after the program for counseling? Good evening, Mr. Kum. I'm afraid you people are not mixing up sex in marriage, which is normal, and that out of marriage, which to me is not normal. I am Pa Ima writing from Kumbu. Pa Ima, hope everybody is doing well in Bui Division. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I love your program. Keep building families. Stay blessed. Otia Belinda B writing from Bamenda. Okay, when Apostle Ambe talk about touch and the man doesn't react, I remembered when I was still in courtship with my husband. There was a time that I knew I have lost him. One day we were in bed. I touched him left and right, but no reaction. I even claimed on him, but nothing happened. God, when I asked him and said it's not going, let us take a break. But thank God we are together today. Okay, yes, it depends. There's a message I really wanted to read here that I'm looking for. Good evening. I'm Ngozi writing from Boy. I guess cheating also kills love and relationship. Kum Aqua from Beneficial Life Insurances. Good evening, sir. I really enjoy your program. Aqua is writing from Bamenda. I will put on message. Yes, Apostle Lefor Divine.
Yes.
Yes. Some people
those telling signs.
Yes. Telling signs.
I would want to just mention, maybe before you ask your question,
okay.
Two things. The points that have been raised by the men of God are quite good, so no need to belabor them. But another one is when most of the times, no matter how busy, for example, I am, no matter how much travel I go, there's a yearning to come back home. There is an excitement. There is an, in fact, when you want to also know when the lines or the curtains are being drawn, when it's both ways. You no longer feel excited to come home, or even a woman who is at home no longer feels excited. There's a women who are happier at home when the man is not around.
Yes.
That means they are glad when the man is traveling.
They are glad when something comes up. Now it goes. Then there are some men who the best time is when they are not home. That is a very big sign. And some of these things you can notice. You can see it's noticeable, and truly it is best if it is noticed early. It is a very big, because no matter how long, yes, our work, my work, I know someone like me, my work is quite demanding. Sometimes you do a lot of things. You are here, now I'm in Douala. Sometimes you go like this, but there is a yearning. You cannot wait. You are looking forward to see your wife. You're looking forward to see your children. You're looking forward to be home. Sometimes it just, that environment, it's a define. It's a sign when you're no longer desired, when you no longer desire to be in that, because one of the first things we enjoy,
company.
Yes, one of the first we enjoy in a relationship is company. One of the first things that we admire and enjoy before, when I'm talking from relationship to marriage, was company. Secondly, because of time, there is also something that you should be noticed. When the man or the woman begins to openly engage other people, know that you're no longer desired. Now, that means the man openly brings another woman to the house, openly shows answer calls, makes it very clear that you know, some of these things, when it's so obvious, they no longer feel.
They cheat without hiding.
They have locked all us. They don't care what you think anymore.
Yes.
When they no longer care what you think, it's a sign you're no longer desired. In fact, that's a dangerous one. When they no longer care what you think, because anybody, any relationship, you care what the person thinks. Whether it's husband, wife, whether it's pastor, member, whether it's worker, boss, you must care. I'm talking in the context. So when in that context of relationship, your partner no longer cares. This goes both ways, not only in cheating. Even when a woman no longer cares what you think, you say, now, so there was a time when a man says, I'm not happy about this. Don't want to wear. What is it now? How can we make it better? Now wait, I'm not happy. Master, that one I own. Vex no, vex go die. You don't vex what it don't happen. You don't vex until money don't increase my account. When partners no longer care what the other person thinks, it's a very dangerous sign that you're no longer desired.
Hello, Mr. Leo and the panelists. I think what Apostle is saying is correct. Respect is the pre-initiator of a lovely relationship, but during romance, respect has to place at that time. You all can behave like kids or otherwise, so mutual respect is the solid foundation where emotions and romance can succeed. Thanks, Mike from Abu Dhabi. Good evening to you, Mike. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I love your program. Keep it up. Please, the man with the black shirt must not always shout. His tone alone makes what he's saying. Okay, we are gentlemen, don't shout, please. Okay, good evening to you all. I'm enjoying the program today, and the topic is educative. Please, why do some men take alcohol before having sex? I'm Mado, writing from Yaoundé. I don't know why, Mado. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Satan have shown itself in a form of a woman. I fear them. It's Danielle from Douala. A woman too just wrote that Satan has shown himself in the form of a man. So she says she fears men also. Much thanks to you there in the studio. To stop all that what you are saying, it's better one to look, you observe, verify before becoming engaged into friendship or marriage. Obi Anthony writing from It's now. Yes, but you have to study yourselves. Thank you, Mr. Liu and my Media Prime, for the wonderful and educative program. You makes me rush home and stay glued to my TV set every 8 p.m. because of your program. Please never you leave out Pastor in any of your sessions, because when he speaks you see wisdom. Thanks for the analysis of romance. May God continue to bless him and his ministry in Jesus' name. Bison Rollins writing from Douala. Would like to be a part of this. Irene Kingsley. Irene, just call me. Please just call. Can you just call me after this so that I can add you to our forum? Greetings, Mr. Louis. Your program is good. Kudos to Apostle Ambe and others. Cool. Charles writing from Yaoundé. Mr. Leonard, thank you so much for the beautiful program. Thanks to all the panelists for the participation. Let Prophet Ambe finish the explanation of what romance is, please. Keep on the good work. Peter is writing from Bamenda. Tico Felix says, Mr. Liu, some of these signs include the partner becomes snobbish, he or she becomes irritated by your comments or contributions, no matter how genuine they are. Your presence makes him very uncomfortable. He's not concerned whether you serve him food or not. He starts taking his clothes to the dry cleaners, something he was not doing. He starts keeping late nights asking food money becomes a problem. One person prefers sitting room to the sleeping room. Apostle Ambe Valentine, what should be done when you start noticing some of these signs?
Yes. They say a stitch in time saves 9. You know, when anger graduates to bitterness and malice, it is very difficult to erase it. When something is not yet matured, it is very important for us to call attention to it. It is not wrong for you to sit down and write the different things you've seen that are not working well and have a session with your partner and say, sweetheart, I've realized that since we got married of late, these things are no longer working again. Can you please give me reasons why these things are not working? I'm talking on both sides. If you are a woman experiencing from your husband, initiate the discussion. If you are a man experiencing from your wife, you initiate the discussion. Nobody is lesser in a relationship. We're not talking about respect because somebody is a lesser personality. No. Respect is a virtue. But everybody deserves that respect. So when we see such things occur, it's good to initiate a chat. Point it out. Don't swallow things in your stomach, because the apostle will say, let me not talk. Very soon I will talk, and he will say it. Say it, because if you are frank and sincere in a relationship, even if it is separating tomorrow, you tried your part. Don't be that kind of person that conserves or absorbs information in your heart, and then when things accumulate to a certain level, when it escalates, nobody is able to control it anymore. So it's important for you to call the attention of an individual. Do not allow things to prolong. The Bible says that you should not allow your anger to be till sunset. In other words, it's not even advisable to sleep with problems, even though there are some troublesome women and troublesome men that will not want any reconciliation. Sometimes you make advances to somebody and try to speak, like the case we had. The person is never willing to pay attention. To such a person, you commit him to the hand of God, like Jesus committed his spirit. You commit such person. There are people that when you can no longer handle them, they could be demon possessed, arrogant and filled with ego. You go with intercession. Whatever your idea, your skill, your technicality cannot handle in marriage, go on your knees. Because sometimes demons will enter into some homes and then begin to cause this confusion. You see a certain level of pride that is unable to be controlled. You see a kind of pride where everybody is complaining about it, but the person is still holding on to that pride. Even if the pride is drowning the person is still holding on to it. Such a case, you will understand that it's no longer natural, it's supernatural, and such a case should be addressed spiritually, not physically. Because we are talking here, we are living the place of demons in marriage. There are women who are possessed with evil spirits, and there are equally men who are possessed with evil spirit. But we carry everything to put on judgment, human philosophy, reasoning, sociology, anthropology, technicality, and psychology. But there are some cases where all this, our psychology and anthropology and sociology and romance will not work, because a demon is in place. A principality has taken over your wife or taken over your husband and is acting like a stronghold. You better start binding and casting the evil spirit tormenting that man or that woman. If not, you will cancel yourself to the grave, because there are demons that don't hear cancel.
Okay, Apostle, we need to arrest some cases before they get out of hand.
Yeah.
Or is it also advisable to let go if you see that things are definitely not working out?
So we always advise that you play your role. Just do your own effort, what you can do. Try as much as possible. Don't just say that I have tried. When you say you have tried, try to analyze what you tried, what you did to make things work. Because some of you became so busy, and because of that, you know, the other person got attention from other places. Some of you decided to keep yourself loose, and the person did not get interest in you. Some of you began talking to them anyhow. So why not just look into all those things again and trying to see where you failed, whether you can begin to make things work again for your home. Yours truly, there must be something that killed that thing. Find out what has killed it. Always make efforts. I want to say that the women usually make efforts to find out in most cases, but the men should also try to make efforts. The men should make efforts to see how to put back their homes together, because the man is supposed to be the pilot. The man is supposed to be the one in charge. The man is supposed to be the one to control. The man is supposed to be the leader. So at every point in time, let the men try to see where they failed, where they could not manage their homes well, where they could not put their wives in order, and where they could not put their relationship in order. And then they humble themselves, take the place of a friend, go closer and find out how you can be of help to that person. It's going to be a wonderful thing. One of the things that we do, I and my wife, is that we don't allow any problem to sleep for the next day. If we have a problem, we always talk it out. That's why for many years today we have been friends. We talk out our things like friends. We don't, if we are angry, we talk it that time, and after that it's over. Keep talking them in a short while. Don't always keep it in arrears. Some of you keep problems in arrears. Don't keep arrears, but don't keep plenty problems. Always address them when they are small, so they don't get so big. With that, you are on a good footing. And you also try to consult experts, try to consult some people who can be able to advise you, because you may not have enough skills, you may not have enough ability to handle your issues. Consult people that will help you. Okay. Like now you're seeing Apostle Ambe. A lot of people want to talk to him. You know, he's a marriage counselor. He's an expert. We have seen that he's very vested in the society and handle a lot of things. It's not wrong to look for him wherever you are. Get to meet him personally. You're enjoying him on television. Why not look for where he is and get to where he is and benefit? Apostle Lefor is in Boya. You can also benefit a lot of things from them, and that's how it works. Don't just say that I know what to do, and at the end of the day you are spoiling your home and spoiling things.
Okay. Yes, Apostle Lefor.
Yes, I really think that the men of God on this panel are people of experience, wisdom, and much has been shared that we don't even need to beat around the bush. And I want to say that there is a place of learning. We all must learn. You know, we're talking about relationship and marriage. And I want to say this will surely be one of my last words. The program is really coming to an end. I want to say this, like when we talk about marriage and relationship, like even about the things that happen, we talk about sex, and that was in the context of marriage. I want to, that was in the context of marriage, and we forgot the relationship part. I want to say this, that one of the things that really brings about this, even these emotional challenges in relationship, I'm not talking about marriage now, relationship, because some people are just joining the two, in relationship, is taking each other for granted. I think when we continue to value each other, like we said, we have talked a lot about purpose, understand a lot of things, having something pivotal more than emotion, all of that, but if we can continue to value, it will come to the thing I'll talk about how to, when you are feeling unappreciated in a relationship. It's when it's as if you are no longer valued. I think when we continue to value each other,
you are seen as begging the relationship.
Yeah. So when you are just like a partner who is a leech, you will not. Every partner in a relationship has value, because if I did not see you valuable, I will not take my time to come and form an eternal partnership with you. There should be that value, and that is why if you think you are losing that value, there's some things you cannot understand. That's why some of us are here. I have device consulting. It's not about church. We are not just doing it for denomination. We are there to help the entire world. That's why we are. Thank God for a platform. Thank God for my major prime who are bringing these wise people on this platform. All of these things. Device consulting. I'm doing my best there on that same platform to talk. It's not about just church. Whether you are a church person or not a church person, you can be mentored and coached from relationship, right? All of that. I think it will help a lot of people out there.
Okay, we are going to end with this announcement from the regional delegates for public health for the Northwest region, Dr. Kingsley Cheso, who says that the population of the Northwest region is hereby informed that a vaccination campaign against COVID-19 has been organized by the Ministry of Public Health from the 28th of April to the 2nd of May 2021. This campaign shall involve all health personnel above 18 years of age, all persons suffering from diabetes, hypertension, asthma, or any other chronic disease, and above 18 years of age, and all persons. Okay, 3, all persons aged 50 years and above. And I am hereby encouraging everyone in the Northwest region who falls in any of the categories mentioned above to immediately visit any of the following vaccination centers in the region and be vaccinated against COVID-19 for free of charge. The centers include Health District Akko, Health District is Akko District Hospital, Bafut District Hospital, Bali District Hospital, Bamenda Regional Hospital, Nkwen District Hospital, International Vaccination Center, Regional Delegation of Public Health Hospital Runabout Bamenda, Batibo District Hospital, Benakuma District Hospital, Fundong District Hospital, Bingo Baptist Hospital, St. Elizabeth Catholic Hospital, Shishong, Banso Baptist Hospital, Mbengwi District Hospital, Ndop District Hospital, Ndu District Hospital, Njikwa District Hospital, Nkambe District Hospital, Nwa District Hospital, Oku District Hospital, Santa District Hospital, CMA, Bambili, Duba District Hospital, and Womb District Hospital. Signed, the Regional Delegate of Public Health for the Northwest region. We are going to end at this juncture. Apostle Ambe, Valentine, thank you for coming for this edition of the program.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. Let me seize the opportunity again to announce our program that is coming on the 29th to the 2nd of May 2021. The program is Stack Record Breakers, and the theme is the Wind of Change. We're going to be receiving servants of God from within and without the country in our church auditorium and St. Ruth Bonaberi, Douala, and we are welcoming each and everyone who is coming within and without the city. It's going to be a mind-blowing program. And for those of you who need my book, The Winning Couple in Bamenda, is on Bengwi Road in Douala. You can get it at my media prime. You can equally get it through me, and then wherever you are in the country, we can still post it to you. God bless you.
Okay. We also want to say thank you to you, Apostle Alfred.
Yeah, thank you very much. I also want to use this opportunity to invite you, our friends that have been following us on launching on Sunday. I'll be launching my ministry on Sunday in the Panda Tapis Rouge, opposite College EPF. Just that place there. We will be having a wonderful time. A lot of men of God will come in, friends, relatives, and all the like will be there. So please do well to visit us and to support us.
Demons are going to be asked out now.
What's that?
Demons are going to be asked.
No. It's just a time of celebration. It's a launching actually. To support the ministry, to support what we are doing.
There's no deliverance.
No, deliverance will not be there. But if deliverance happened, well, we know that God came down.
Thank you, Apostle Lefor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leo. It's always a wonderful time, and I think everybody's inviting everybody here for wonderful programs, and I'm just so excited. But I want to invite the entire world to take advantage of Device Consulting and contact me personally, and you can always have mentorship coaching, relationship coaching from dating right up to marriage, and a lot of things that you're going to learn. And we have a lot of books, a lot of materials, resources that can help you, which you can benefit and grow yourself and learn more. Thank you.
Good evening, my media prime. My name is Chima from Bamenda. I must confess this program has really put marriages in shape. More grace to all the men of God in the house. Keep this program until the kingdom come. I end with that message. Lots of them are still there. We want to say thank you to you all who took time off to watch the program. Eli, Desmond, Bertrand, and Noel, thank you very much. Tabby, Tambe Bryant, who is supervising the work we do out here. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Aspiring to study abroad for your post-secondary or postgraduate studies? Stand a chance to win a $1,000 or $500 tuition fee scholarship. Attend the Harvest Field Education Virtual Fair on Saturday, the 1st of May from 4 to 8 p.m. West Africa time. Meet reps from top institutions in Canada, the UK, Ireland, and the USA. Chat, download their materials, and upload your credentials for immediate assessment. Access is free, but registration is compulsory. Visit harvestfieldedu.vfairs.com to register now. You will receive a confirmation email with your login details to join us from the comfort of your home. Harvest Field Education Services, your best guide to studying abroad. Email harvestfieldedu@yahoo.com.